Hello everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how I made this bracelet from the beads from the November Best Bead Box. So let's get a materials list. You need quite a few of the Rounduos. They're in white lilac gold luster and they're 5mm. Okay, as a matter of fact, you need 28 for about a 7-inch wrist. You'll have to have 32 if you need a little bigger, or you can extend these ends with this unit. But we'll get to that. I thought these were 8mm. These are 6mm pearls. They're Potomac pearls that we got in the box. You're going to need some 3.4mm Myiuki drops. Now, let me stop right here and explain. A lot of people, after I've already designed the product and I get requests to make the product, I'm already pretty much out of beads from the box, right? I've used them in designing the prototype. So I have to replace beads, the same beads, but with my own. And they're different colors, but they're the same size. All right, I'm showing you how to recreate this. Same style bead, same size bead, just different colors out of my stash because I've already used the beads from the box. Alright, and then we need some 2x3mm rondelles. I've got metallic green iris. Gonna need some 4mm beads, which do not come in the box. Alright, so I'm using some check pearls, 4mm, and that's for the connector to connect the units here. And then I've got two different sizes, or two different colors of 11/0 seed beads. These were in the box, the bronze and the green. And some 15/0 seed beads. And I used all the peony pink in this bracelet and the earrings and the ring. So I've replaced it with my own cream colored 15/0s. But 15/0s nonetheless. Okay, I'm going to use my second. You need a 2-ring clasp. You don't have to be a subscriber to the box either to make this. You know, you can get, sure you have your own stash of beads, you know, or you might have to order some. But, so 2-strand clasp. I'm using a size 10 beading needle. They happen to be pony beading needles. And 6-pound Fireline. You can use a 4-pound. I wouldn't recommend an 8-pound. So we'll be going through these little beads a lot. Alright, so get all your materials together. Come back and we'll get started. Okay, I've got a wingspan of Fireline on my needle. And that's about when you hold your arms out side to side from your chest, straight out from your chest. And that's about the amount of string that you'll need to start off with, because this takes a lot of thread. So we'll start out by picking up, depending on whether you want the green in the center or the bronze in the center. I think I'm going to do the green. So let's pick up a Rounduo, an 11/0 seed bead, a drop, Myiuki drop, 11/0 seed bead, Rounduo, 11/0 seed bead, Myiuki drop, 11/0 seed bead, Rounduo, 11/0, drop, 11-0, rounduo. Come on. Here we go. And then we need another 11-0, drop 11-0. You know, I normally put my stop bead on. So if you haven't made this yet, make sure to put a stop bead on first. I forgot to do that. Alright, so try to do it like this. Pick it up by the end. And then go back through it. Sorry about that. Make sure to put your stop bead on and leave 6 to 8 inches. Alright, so bring these down to the stop bead. Alright, and then we're going to make them, and I could have tied it, but I haven't had the greatest luck with that. And come up through that, from the stop bead up, through that rounduo, in the same exact hole that we came through already. You want to go back through and reinforce. We went through that rounduo by the stop bead and 11-0, drop 11-0. We'll go through that same hole in that rounduo, 11-0, drop 11-0, same hole in the next rounduo, and do the same all the way around. Reinforce our little square. Don't skip any beads. Find that hole that you've already been through. Sorry about my band-aid, but it looks better than the end of my finger right now. So we're just going through and reinforcing. Watching for the tail thread. Okay, we want to stop coming out when we're coming out of the rounduo. I happen to be the one right past my stop bead. Alright. Well, we're not going to, okay, we'll do the center first. So we'll stay in this hole and then come out that next 11-0. Now we'll be doing this backward when we do our next unit. I'll explain that more when we get there. But since we reinforced, the beads are pretty snug fitting together, so you might have to work with getting through that 11-0. Alright, now we're going to pick up, if you want the same green color, you can use it, but I think I'll pick up a bronze. I'm coming out of that 11-0. I'm going to jump over that drop and go through that next 11-0. And rounduo in that same bottom hole. Same hole we've been going through. See that? I went through the 11-0 and the rounduo, and we're going to be going through that next 11-0 as well. We're laying that 11-0 right in between those two 11-0s. Okay, that's how we're going to be attaching our center pearl and our frame around the pearl. So let's get through this next 11-0. And then we're going to pick up I'm picking up a bronze 11-0, and I'm going to go through that next 11-0, duo. Be nice if I get that 11-0 without in this, because it'd be easier. Yeah, and I got it. So 11-0, duo, and 11-0 through the same hole of that round duo that we've been working in. The second hole is going to be for our next round. Okay, and we're coming out of that 11-0 already. So let's pick up our bronze 11-0. Go through the 11-0. And the cat must love it when I'm speaking on camera, because she gets excited and starts playing. 11-0, round duo, and 11-0. Lay that. Make sure that 11-0 that you're adding lays in the right spot, right in between, in the center, in between those. Let's go on here. I think I got wrapped around. There we go. There we go. Right in between those two 11-0s, right in the center. Alright, and then we're going to pick up one last 11-0, and we're going to go I'm trying to get the tail thread out of the way. I'm going to go into that next, jump over the, skip the drop, go into the 11-0, round duo, and 11-0. Sometimes it's a little fiddly. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to step up into that 11-0 that we just added on the diagonal. We'll step up into that next row. Step it up into that bronze, that first bronze 11-0 that we added. There we go. And now we're ready to add our pearl. So we'll pick up a 6mm. That looks bigger than a 6mm, but that's what it says, 6mm pearl. And our thread's coming out this way. Out of our 11-0, we're going to come down, and we're going to come that same way. Our thread will be coming out of that same way of that 11-0, and then we'll go back up through the pearl to reinforce. Alright, where's the hole? There. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get through. I should have used the bead reamer. Alright, and go back up through that pearl. And we'll go through this way. And come back down through the pearl. And we'll go through, and we're working through those, just those bronze seed beads, 11 that we added to put on this. There we go. Right back through that bronze seed bead. Alright, and make sure not to pull everything, squish it down real tight. Now we're going to pick up 4 of our 15-ohs. 4 15-ohs, and we're going to jump up into that next bronze seed bead. Like that. Pick up 4 more 15-ohs. And we're going to go up to the next bronze 11-oh. We're putting a frame around that pearl in the center. Pick up 4 15-ohs. Go through that next bronze 11-oh. See? And 4 more 15-ohs. And go through that next bronze 11-oh. Alright, so good. So far so good. It's looking good. Get there, come back, and we'll do the next step. Alright, now we're coming out of that bronze 11-oh. We're going to jump into the green. $11.0. This one in between the duo, round duo, 11.0 is the one we want to go through. And then we want to go into that first hole of the round duo, the one we've been working in. And then we want to turn around, change directions, and go through the top hole. The top hole of that round duo. Same one. Oops, I got my tool there. Alright. So now we're coming out of the top hole with that round duo. Here. If you wanted to, you could go back before you do that and reinforce this frame around the bead. But it's okay if you don't. They're good. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up a rondelle, 2x3 rondelle, let's see, do I want bronze or green? A bronze seed bead, a 15.0, a bronze seed bead, and a 2x3 rondelle. That's what we want. And then we're going to jump into the top hole. We're going to sew through that top hole of that next duo. Right like that. Now we're going to do that 3 more times. Rondelle, bronze, 11.0, no baby, 15.0, bronze, 11.0, and a 2x3 rondelle. Same pattern. I'm going to jump and sew through that top hole. Make sure you get the top hole of that next rounduo. Okay, do that 2 more times. Yep, rounduo, 2x3 rondelle, bronze 11-0, 15-0, bronze 11-0, and 2x3 rondelle. Now, your colors, like I said, your colors, you're using a bronze, probably using a bronze 2x3 rondelle, so you may want to put the green seed beads in the pink 15-0 like I did here. It's up to you, like I did here in this bracelet. It's up to you what color choices you make. I'm 2x3 rondelle, 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, and 2x3 rondelle. Go through the top, sew through the top hole in that next rounduo. Alright, and there's that. Alright, so next what I did was I went through the 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, and 2x3 rondelle. It's like stepping up, getting ready for our next round. And get there, come back, and we'll do the next step. Alright. Now we need, our next row is 2 15-0s, 2 15-0s, 1 drop, 2 15-0s. And we're going from one 2x3 rondelle into the next 2x3 rondelle, 11-0, 15, 11-0, and 2x3 rondelle. I'm going to lay those right over the corner, right over that rounduo. Alright, and we're going to pick up 2 more 15-0s, a drop, Myiuki drop, I love these little drops, and 2 15-0s. Right like that. We're coming out of one rondelle, we're going to just go into the next rondelle, and if you can go ahead and go through that 11-0, 15-0, and 11-0 and rondelle. It's easier. Okay. Don't pull so hard that they curl up. See that? Just let them be relaxed. Pick up 2 15-0s, a drop, and 2 15-0s. And go into the next rondelle, 11-0, or rondelle, yeah, 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, and the next rondelle. We're just following our path around and completing all 4 sides. And this is the last side. Pick up 2 15-0s, a drop, and 2 15-0s. Oops, I had to. There we go. And go through that last rondelle. And pull. Not real tight, just so you can't see any thread. And that's pretty colors. With that cream colors, that really stands out. Alright, now I want you to go ahead and go all the way around this edge. All the way through and reinforce. Go through the 11-0, 15-0. Come on, go through there. Try that again. 11-0, 15-0, 11-0. And the rondelle. And then the 2 15-0s and the drop. And the 2 15-0s. And the rondelle. Just keep going all the way around, but don't pull real tight. You don't want to bunch it up, okay? You don't want to, you just want to give it some space, give it some air. Finish going all the way around the edge. Come back and we'll do the next step. Alright, so when you end your thread, try to be on the opposite side of the tail thread, over here, coming out of that rondelle. Alright, it doesn't matter which rondelle, but coming out either this way or that way, up out of one of these rondelles. Okay, and then we're going to pick up a rondelle, a 4mm bead. I'm using a pearl, check pearl, and then another rondelle. Just like that. And we're coming down out. We're just going to go through that row again on the opposite end. Our thread was coming out of this rondelle. We went through the top, through all the seed beads, and through the bottom rondelle. And pulled. Now we'll go back through the beads we just added. Alright, no, just 1 minute. And then let's go down, back down through one more time, because this is the connection point. Back down through the left. $11.0, $15.0, $11.0, and well, first the rondelle, and then those seed beads, and then the last rondelle, and then we'll come back up through it. No, don't jewel on my camera cord. No. No, Cookie, you'll get down. Sorry about that. Alright, so now we're coming out the top of that row. And so now I'll pick up the rondelle, bronze 11.0, 15-0, bronze 11-0, and rondelle. Like that. And go through the bottom, or the opposite side, you know, of that row. And oops, I got a knot. Let's get that straightened out, taken care of before we try to pull. I think I'm only making it worse here. There we go. And then we'll go back down through this row we just added. So through this row, up through the middle row again. And cookie no. Back down through the one on the right, the one we just added. Alright, so there's our connection. Alright, and then we'll go back up through that last row. And as I was saying before, we worked from the middle out on the first unit. I think that's the front. We worked from the middle out, and all the next other units in the row will be working from the outside in. So let's pick up a Rounduo, rondelle, the same pattern right here, 11-0 bronze, 15-0 seed bead, 11-0 bronze, and a rondelle, and a Rounduo, rondelle, bronze, 15-0, bronze 11-0, and a rondelle, and the Rounduo. So here's the pattern. You got your Rounduo, you've got your rondelle, 11-0, 15, 11-0 rondelle, Rounduo. We need that. We need 4 of the Rounduos, so we've got 3. So we got to pick up our rondelle, 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, rondelle. Right? And then, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. And then we need one more Rounduo. Okay. And then we've got this side already made. See that? So let me show you. I've picked up a Rounduo, rondelle, 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, rondelle, Rounduo. I've got 4 Rounduos with that rondelle, 11-0, 15, 11-0 rondelle in between each one. So there's 3 sets of the rondelles and seed beads in between 4 of the Rounduos. And then we'll come up here and attach through this row. Coming out of the bottom, we're going to sew through the top like this. Pull it, and there's our outside square. So now we got to go back and reinforce through that same hole of that Rounduo and all the rest of the beads. But make sure you get the same hole with that duo bead. Duo, and then we'll come down through that row again, reinforce and pull, and there we go. All right, next we're going to jump up, and we're coming out of that Rounduo. In the bottom, the middle hole, so let's jump to the outside hole of that same Rounduo. It's going to look awkward, but never mind, it'll come together. And then we're going to pick up I'm using the green 11-0, a drop, Myiuki drop, and a green 11-0 seed bead. And I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to go through the top hole of the next Rounduo. Top hole. See, we're working out the top hole now. It's going to pull it to the center, and it's going to make it like the inside hole now. Okay. I'm going to pick up the same exact sequence of beads, 11-0, drop, 11-0, and then we're going to go to the next Rounduo, top hole, and make sure these beads come to the center, pull to the center. These drops will be it don't matter which way the drops are pointing right now, but they will be up. They will be flipped up. Like that. So pick up 11-0, Myiuki drop, 11-0, come to the outside holes. That looks funny, but when we pull the string, it'll pull in. And do it again. Green 11-0, Myiuki drop, green 11-0, and come to the top guess you can go ahead and go through these seed beads too if you catch them. So we're going to reinforce anyway. We got to reinforce that for it to pull right. Okay. Now go all through, go around. Make sure you get the middle, the center side of the rounduo now. And go through all these beads again and reinforce this row. Return it to where I like to work. There we go. 11-0, drop 11-0. Rounduo in the center. It's the same hole we've been working out of, but it was on the outside and then we pulled it in. Right now we're just reinforcing. Did I come through that 11-0? Drop 11-0. Rounduo. I'm just coming all through this. Okay, we're just reinforcing, coming around. $11.0, drop 11.0, and then the after you make it all the way around, you want to be coming out of the one of the 11-0s of this row that we just did. Okay, let's make sure everything's laying well. Okay, so we're coming out of an 11-0. We want to put one of our bronze seed beads in between those two 11-0s. So let's go ahead and go into the next 11-0, and if we can, we'll get the Rounduo and 11-0 as well, so we don't have to dig as much for it. Put that right in the center there, like we did the first one. We just do this in a different order, that's all. It's the same. Pick up your bronze 11-0. And you want to jump over that Myiuki drop and go through the 11-0, Rounduo. If you can't get the 11-0, you have to do that separately. Alright, pick up your bronze 11-0, go through the 11-0, duo. Sometimes it's hard to get that 11-0 too, and I got it. Put your beads where you want them, place them, and one more. Jump over that, skip that drop, and go through your 11-0, Rounduo, make sure your seed bead goes where you want it to go. Myiuki drop up, facing the, there we go, facing outward, and now we went through the duo, we need to go through the 11-0 and then step up diagonally through that bronze 11-0, and we're ready for our next row. Alright, I'm putting all of the pearls up and down, so we're already in position to put our 6mm pearl. Let me oh shoot, see, let's see, sometimes these pearls on one side are hard to get through with the needle because they have a piece of the coating sticking off. So I just take my bead reamer and try to take care of that. Okay, and then we picked up our pearl, brought it down. Our thread's coming to the right, so we want to be coming out the right side. So we'll needle through the left. Then we'll come back up the pearl. Where are you at, hole? Here we go, I found the hole. Okay, and I'll go through that bronze seed bead to the right, come back down through the pearl, and great, my thread I went underneath. I don't want to be underneath that. I want to be able to go through and end up coming out that way. Doesn't matter which way you're coming out. We're going to add our 15 O's. To help frame that pearl. So pick up 4 just like before. And we're going to add them This helps hold the other beads in place as well, that drop and everything. Pick up 4 more 15 O's. Coming out of that bronze 11 O, go through the next bronze 11 O. Pick up 15 O's, 4 of them. And needle through that next bronze 11 O. Pick up 4 more 15 O's. And go through that bronze 11 O that we started in. Now what I think I am going to go ahead and reinforce going through this row again. I forgot to do that. I got too caught up in the first row. It's no big deal, but I'll always like to have at least 2 strands of Fireline going through each row. And we'll go through the 15 O's in that 11 O. We're just going back around this row, just reinforcing it. Alright, so get there, come back, and we'll do the next step. Sorry about my mat. I get so into it, I forget everything else. Alright, we're coming out of that bronze 11 O. We just want to needle through that 11 O right beside of it. Mine's green, it's the green 11 O. And then the center hole of that Rounduo. And in that same Rounduo, we want to jump up into the outer hole. This is we're working our way to the outside, and then we'll go through rondelle, 11-0, 15-0, rondelle. We're just making our way so we can put our corners on. Here, which is 2 15-0s, Myiuki drop, 2 15-0s, and then we'll go through the rondelle. The very next, we're going to over top of this Rounduo. We're not going through it, we're going to jump over top of it, and that's where we're putting the corners, is over top. So I'm going to go through this rondelle, 11-0, 15-0. I'm trying to get the next 11-0 too. If not, it's going to be a tight fit. It's not going to be very easy to get that 11-0 on its own. These are so tight together. Here we go. Go through that unit of beads and put that corner on there. Alright, so we're coming out of this rondelle. You want to put the next corner on. 2 15-0s. Myiuki drop, 2 15-0s. And we're going to jump over into that next rondelle. 11-0, 15-0, 11-0. I've got a knot. Don't know where that knot came from, I see. I'm gonna have to work this knot out. I'll be right back. Alright, pick up your beads for your corner, 2 11-0s. Myiuki drop, or 2 15-0s, Myiuki drop, 2 15-0s, and go through the next rondelle. And set of 11-0, 15, 11-0, and rondelles. I had to reconnect. My knot was so bad that I had to do the knot there to reconnect my threads. So I think it came from these two, you know, the tail thread and the working thread getting tangled together. So anytime you see a knot for me, make sure you take care of it. It's a pain in the butt if you don't. Where the knot was, it wasn't long enough to finish off and restart, so I did it this way, with melding the two ends and tying a knot. The only thing about this way, it's kind of hard to work through small seed beads. And one more corner, 2 15-0s, a Myiuki drop, and 2 15-0s. And go through the next rondelle. Oops, I should have pulled these over that knot first. Let me do that. There we go. There we go. Now go back around that last row and reinforce all the way around. Come back. Make sure you end your thread off over here coming out of the rondelle, because we got to do our connector. Okay, we're coming out of the bottom of that rondelle, or you could be coming out of the top. I'm not sure, but probably the bottom. And so we're going to pick up our rondelle, our pearl, and a rondelle. That. And coming out the bottom, we're going to come through the opposite end, which is the top. If I can get in there. You may need to switch to a smaller needle if that helps. Sometimes it's a great help. But it's basically because they're all pulled together so close, not because the beads are full of thread on this side. Alright, let's get the tail thread out of the way. So we went through the rondelle, the 11-0, the 15-0, the 11-0, and the rondelle. And we'll come back up through. The row we just added, the rondelle, the pearl, rondelle. We don't want to pull it extremely tight. We don't want it to curl up or anything, but pull it to where it's, you know, comfortable. And then try to get back through that row of beads. Rondelle, 11-0. $15, 11-0. Don't want that one. We'll just get back out of that. And then go back down through the row on the right. Alright, and then we want, of course, the rondelle. Make sure I'm getting those connections right. Yeah, the bronze, 11-0, 15-0, bronze 11-0, and the rondelle. And come opposite needle through the opposite side which your thread's coming out of. And then come back down. That row on the right, the one we just added. And then we'll go back up, the one on the left, and back down the one on the right. And that's where you'll be getting ready to put your next unit on, just like I showed you. So, because I don't have enough beads to make a full bracelet, I'm just doing a little baby bracelet. And so I showed you how to do everything. Now what you'll do is you'll rewind and watch how to put that outside row on first, and then move to the inside row, add your purl. Alright, so you're working from the outside in, but it's all on video how to do it. And this will be your ends. If you're making a 7-inch bracelet, these will be your ends. You got to have the ending on it. There, the connector here moves on the end to add your clasp to. Plus it needs that little bit of length on the ends. You just have to figure out, you have to measure, I guess how long. If you don't have a 7-inch wrist, you might have to take off a block, because I think there's a total of 7. You need to make 5 more, and plus the endings here. You'll have to put a 2 rows over here to put your clasp on. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now, how to add the clasp. It's very simple. You're coming out of the bottom. You needle up through that first loop. And then you go to the opposite side of the bead and needle back down through. Alright, and then you keep doing the same thing over and over. Go up through the loop, down through the bead, up through the loop, down through the bead, up through the loop, down through the bead, up through the loop, alright, instead of going down through the bead, you're going to come over here and go up through the bead, up through the 11-0 also, and the 15-0 and the 11-0 and the rondelle. Alright. So you're going to come out of that rondelle, you want to go, excuse me, up through the loop, up through the bead, okay, going to go up through that loop, make sure your thread don't get wrapped around the clasp, up through the bead, up through the loop, up through the bead, up through the loop, up through the bead, up through the loop, through the bead. Alright, and then you'll work your way back to tie off, okay? Come down through the next row. Up through that row on the edge there, that rondelle. 11-0, 15-0, 11-0. Rondelle. Don't tie a knot before 15-0, so go through those 15-0s on the corner. You can tie a knot before that drop. You can do a half hitch, go underneath that thread in between the two beads, pull down till you have a loop, needle through that loop, and pull your knot down, and then go through that Myiuki drop and the two 15-0s. Let's see, where'd that string go? It's attached. Here we go. And then we'll tie a knot before the rondelle. So go under that thread bridge. You know, pull up till you have a loop, go through the loop, needle through the loop, pull your knot down, and then go through your next. I'd go through the 11-0, 15, 11-0. I don't think I'd tie a knot before those. Tie a knot before your, bigger beads, your larger hole beads. Go under the thread bridge. Pull down. And go through the next bead. Go through the next two 15-0s and then tie your knot before your drop, and then go through the drop, the 15-0s, tie your knot, go through there, and it should be good. Alright, and so of course when you do the other side, I'm not sure which side is there. When you do your other side, you'll take this clasp off. This side of the clasp off, you'll do, of course you'll have to add your row with the pearl, rondelle, pearl, rondelle, and then rondelle, 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, rondelle. And then you put your clasp. Alright, so I just wanted to show you. I do not have the beads to do the whole bracelet, but I showed you everything you need. You know how to hook the clasp, you know how to make the connectors, you know how to make the, you can keep rewinding if you need to keep making these components and connectors. Like I said, if you got a 7-inch wrist, you want a 7-inch bracelet, make 5 more, total of 7, and make sure you make the end, the connector on the end, and put the clasp on. I will be posting videos of how to do the full ring and the full earrings. Alright, so that'll be coming up next. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments section down below the video. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.